What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Grand Junction, Colorado. So you're looking to move out this way and you're really looking to lock down the best area to move into for you or you and your family. Well, we're going to break it down. We've helped hundreds of people move out this way. So yeah, we kind of have it dialed in and really go over some of their stories as well. And the one thing that it really comes down to as far as choosing a particular area for our clients, it boils down to getting those spectacular views. Maybe it's living in the city, but still kind of having some space. Maybe they want to be in the southeast part of town, close to the Colorado River. Or maybe it just comes down to a simple budget thing, and that certainly comes into play. We're going to break it all down. We're going to do it right after this, so stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? I'm Robert Hayes, and along with my wife, Christie, we are the Hayes Home Group right here in Grand Junction, Colorado. Hey, if this is your first time to this channel and you're just looking to know everything about what it's like to work, live, play, eat, sleep here in Grand Junction, be sure to hit that subscribe, tap the bell somewhere over there. That way you're notified every single time we post a new video. We are literally getting phone calls every single day from folks looking to move out this way from all over the country, all over the world for that matter, and we absolutely love it. So if that's you, reach out any way that you know how. That information popping up below. Give us a phone call, shoot us a text, send us an email, even send that carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. We've got your back days, nights, weekends when moving out here to Grand Junction. So when folks reach out to us for the first time and we start that initial dialogue, the main thing that we're asking them is really what is the most important thing to you or you and your family? And that's a wide range of answers that we get, but kind of the top reasons that people are asking us to look for them is number one, views. Obviously, we have the Colorado National Monument, which is a spectacular rockscape. If you haven't seen it in person, you've seen some of the B-roll that I'll probably put up right now showing you what those views are like. It's phenomenal. So really a lot of folks coming from the West Coast, the East Coast, kind of the flatlands of Texas, they see the monument views on our videos and like, Robert, that's it. That's what I want. So I would say that's lately been one of the more desirable areas of Grand Junction. Now, taking a step back, the valley as a whole isn't very big. It's only about 15 miles wide and about 8 miles north to south. But that said, you really can be in a completely different world and only be 2 miles away from one property that you're looking at to another property that you're looking at. But again, those spectacular views of the Colorado National Monument are going to be in the Redlands area of town. Specifically, one of the kind of the major desirable corridors of the Redlands is along South Camp Road, and runs along the base of the Colorado National Monument. And you have neighborhoods in there like Granite Falls, which is a super popular area, and it is right there at the base of the monument. And that's going to be, starting digit of a 7 in Granite Falls. You can probably get into the 6s in, let's say, Canyon View and Canyon Rim, which is just to the east of Granite Falls. Spectacular views, great neighborhood. Some of those homes are only, 10, 15 years old, but you're, again, going to be along that South Camp Road corridor. And then you go along to Tirarado, which is going to be off to the west, but still in the Redlands. So you have the golf course community living. That's super desirable as well. And again, you're still looking at that price point. Median price point in the Redlands is about 500 grand. So, you can still get in below 500. We just helped Cody and Emily, great family and their kiddos. They moved into the Redlands in the Ridges area of town in the Redlands, and they got in for under 500,000. Now, yeah, that home was probably about 25 years old. It was built in the 90s, but they were fine with that. They're going to do some updates to it. They just wanted to be in the Redlands and not spend 800 grand. So I know you folks coming from the West Coast, the Californias, the Oregons, the Washingtons, the East Coasters, 800 grand, shoot, we can't even get a 1-bedroom, duplex for 800 grand or, studio for that. So yeah, it's all relative, but that's the highest price point is going to be in the Redlands. Does it go even higher than that? Yeah, it does. In the Redlands Mesa Golf Course community, the premier, the #1 rated golf course in Colorado. Unbelievable homes, custom homes. Yeah, they're going to be over $1 million, but that same home, you plop that down in, let's say, Orange County, California, it's, well over $3 million. So I think you get what I'm saying. The price point is still probably going to feel like a whole lot less than maybe what you're used to. Now, as far as views, yeah, the Colorado National Monument is the primo view. But again, because the valley isn't very large, you're going to have views no matter where you decide to reside in the Grand Valley. Let's head up to the north area of town and let's talk about Terry from Texas and his toys. The Triple T. Terry wanted to make sure he had some space and he had some RV parking to go along with that. You're along Patterson Road, and north of Patterson is considered generally the north area of town. So he's right off 29 Road in Patterson, and up from Patterson north only about a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile. So from the main thoroughfare of Patterson, which is, the brew pubs, the ale house is over there off Patterson Road. You've got all the shops, some restaurants. You got the Mesa Mall along Patterson. But he feels like just that 3/4 of a mile north of Patterson Road that he's out in the middle of nowhere and he's close to the desert, which for his RV parking, he wants to put an ATV in there, maybe throw a boat in that RV parking as well. So for Terry, that was perfect. He had the RV parking and the price point was right at $500,000. So, and it's a brand spanking new home. It was built 2 years ago. So he's got exactly what he's looking for. And then coming back to those views, he's got an unobstructed view of the Grand Mesa off to the east, which is another phenomenal view. So, the Redlands, yeah, I get it. It's the view unlike no other, but you can still have the Grand Mesa view and even a little Book Cliff view in the north area of town, which again, view's a view to some of you, and maybe, the monument is just, that's the one you want. Now heading out to the southeast part of town, let's talk about Dave and his lovely wife. They came out here from New Mexico, and kind of the rub on New Mexico for them was there really wasn't a whole lot to do. So we looked at some property in the southeast, which kind of called to them because it was really close to Corn Lake and the Colorado River and the access to the Colorado River. So we got them a great property, and the price point in the southeast is going to be a little lower than some other parts of the Grand Valley. There's a little more space, and they don't have to worry about, high schools, middle schools, that sort of thing, because it's just he and her. And they wanted to, again, have that Colorado River access, which is a draw for a lot of people. And the southeast and Orchard Mesa is going to be a good choice for that. So if you're looking for, the river access close to the riverfront trail, which runs right along the Colorado River, all the way from one end of the valley to the other, get your road bike and ride across the valley, right along the Colorado River. What's not to like about that? So southeast Orchard Mesa is going to be the good play for you when it comes to that. Now let's head out to Fruita on the west end of the valley, and let's talk about Jay and Christie. They moved out here from California. Fruita is about 13,000 people as opposed to Grand Junction, which is about 70,000 people, and it's only about 8 minutes away, and that's no traffic. I've said that a million times. We have no traffic here. It's just a time thing. To them, they just wanted a really kind of smaller town feel and kind of a more rural setting. Now, there is some areas of Fruita that does have kind of that suburban feel, but overall, it's more of a rural setting out there in Fruita. One little grocery store, and for them, that's just fine. They don't really plan on driving that 8 to 10 minutes into Grand Junction on a regular basis. They've got the community center out there in Fruita. They've got, all the festivals that go on there, the Fat Tire Festival, all the mountain bikers that come out in the summer. So they're close to trails. They're also close to the lake out there, Highline Lake. If they ever want to go boating or go camping, that's 20 minutes away from Fruita. So Fruita's the smaller town vibe. And again, when it comes to stretching your dollar a little bit more, you're going to see that in Fruita as opposed to most areas in Grand Junction as far as price point. Not all, but in general, the same home in Fruita let's say you plop that home into the north area of Grand Junction, it's going to be about $50,000, $60,000 more. So take that into account. And then lastly, as far as budget, if you're just looking at, median home price is $350,000, that's where we want to stay, or even maybe a little lower than $350,000, which is still possible. Going back to the north, but specifically the northeast area of town, which is essentially 28 Road to 32 Road north of Patterson. That's the northeast part of town. And it's become one of the most desirable areas as far as transactions are concerned, just based on the data, because again, you're going to be able to stretch that dollar a little bit more in the northeast part of town. As soon as you get a little more east of 28 and 29 Road on Patterson and then north of Patterson, it does become a little more dense, where you have subdivision on top of subdivision on both sides of Patterson Road. But there's subdivisions, right? You're probably used to that already, but you're going to feel like, you're in a regular city feel. Beautiful neighborhoods. You got homes that are in the 70s all the way up to, the 2000s and newer in the northeast part of town, but you'll be able to stretch that dollar a little bit more in the northeast. So in a nutshell, downtown, we don't see a lot of folks choosing downtown. We just finished up a video on the historic 7th Street District, which is super cool. These old, Victorian homes built in the late 1800s, early 1900s. You've got Colorado Mesa University, which is in downtown Grand Junction. Of course, Main Street is in downtown. Now, the north area, you're just 5 minutes away from Main Street, Grand Junction, so you're not too far away. But yeah, maybe because of the college and the historic homes, a lot of people kind of want to stay away from that. They're not looking to get themselves into a money pit and do a lot of maintenance and updates and that sort of thing. Not seeing a lot of folks choose that, but again, it does come down to what's the most important to you, and that's where we come in. So we can establish that dialogue, and then once we know what's the most important to you, again, we've done this so many times, there's neighborhoods that just immediately pop in our heads based on what your goals are that we're already earmarking to go show you, because we know it's going to be the perfect fit for you and your family. So again, if you love this information, hit subscribe, tap the bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video. And if you are thinking about moving out this way, as much as we love doing these videos, we'd love nothing more than to crush your real estate goals here in Grand Junction. So that information popping up below, reach out however you know how. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, whatever you need to do. We've got your back days, nights, weekends when moving here to Grand Junction. Until the next video, we'll catch you later.